In 2006, a Rubik's Cube changed my life. Now, this wasn't your average Rubik's Cube. It was a human Rubik's Cube at a party where everyone spoke gibberish. I had just seen my first scene of my first live improv show. I was hooked. I knew right then and there that it was going to become a part of my life for the rest of it, and it is still today. Now, improv, or improvised theatre, for those of you that are not familiar with this mad art form that we love, is where performers, dressed exactly like I am today, a nice blank canvas, walk onto the stage and collaborate with our audience. We ask them for things like a location, a profession, give us a random prop, give us a random phrase to use, or maybe, if we're feeling very brave, a genre of film or theatre. I don't know why everybody always picks film noir, but apparently that's just what they want. So, improv. It's all about community. I've had the beautiful opportunity to do improv with people that I didn't even speak the same language as. And yet, through the magic of improv, the language of improv, we were able to create magic on that stage together and have an incredible time. Today is about community. I grew up in Africa, where there's a concept called Ubuntu, which loosely translates to I am because we are. Community all the way through. That metaphorical village to raise a child. Well, we live in a global village now, and yet we're struggling because we're also more disconnected than we've ever been, even though technically we could be more connected than we've ever been due to magic things that live in our pockets. Mobile phones, in case anyone wasn't sure. So, today I'm going to share with you 6 key things from improv that I believe could maybe, just maybe, change some of your worlds. And if we really get stuck in, save this world that we live in. So if you've ever heard of improv, chances are you've heard of this one. The concept of yes and, where you take an offer you're given and you amplify it and you collaborate with the other person on stage. So if somebody walks up to me and says, have you seen this magical crystal from the planet Noltrazine? The obvious answer is, of course, that's amazing. It's the perfect fuel for the spaceship so we can collect the water guardians and we can protect this planet. Or maybe it's the obvious answer to me anyway. This is the magic of improv. We take what we're given and we amplify it in a beautiful collaborative way. We say yes to things. We don't say the dreaded N word, 2 letters, bad word, blocks things, doesn't go well. We take things and we amplify them and we have a lot of fun. But sometimes it doesn't go well. Sometimes it goes a little bit wrong. And so the second thing that we have to learn is we have to learn to embrace mistakes as gifts. Because in the middle of a show, if somebody says something wrong, I can't just turn around and stomp off in a huff. The audience gets a little tense if we do that. No, we have to yes and the thing and create something from it. And then, and here's the key with making sure that we embrace mistakes as gifts, there's no judgment. So at the end of the show, we would always go backstage, huddle up, and just check in. What went really well? Let's do more of that. What can we do differently next time? Now you'll notice I didn't say what can we do better. Because we don't know if different is better until we've tried the different and then reflected on if it was better. We're so quick to just assume something can be better. Different is the question we must ask. How can we do this differently? But most importantly, there was no blame game. There was no, you were rubbish tonight, from anyone. There was no judgment, just inclusivity, just community backstage as we were learning from each other. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, those improvisers, they must be totally fearless, bold, just wild people. No, we get nervous just like you. We get absolutely nervous just like you. And so the third thing that we have to remember is we have to feel the fear and just do it anyway. Now, for all of us, we had different ways to make this happen. But for us, the thing that we did when we could all feel the butterflies weren't quite in formation and they needed to get in line so we could get on stage, we would huddle up, we'd get ready, we'd look at each other in the eyes, and then we'd all just yell, "Banana, banana, banana." And for some reason, it worked. We would chortle with glee, and we would hurtle onto stage, and the magic was there, the energy was there, and everyone was ready to go. And you know what? We're going to try it. We're going to try it right now. We're going to test how brave we're feeling this afternoon. So, in just a moment, I'm going to count to 3. And on 3, we're all going to yell, "Banana, banana, banana." Are you guys ready with me? Yeah? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Banana, banana, banana. Yes! Look at you all. You're 4 seconds away from being on stage improvising with me. You've learned how to embrace that fear and do it anyway. You've all had the courage in a room, probably of people most of you don't know, to do something slightly scary. Think about our worlds. Think about the worlds that we live in. Is there something in the last week, month, year, where you could have had your banana, banana, banana moment and done the scary thing? What different outcome could you have had? Now, improv is magic, as I have said, and I love it with all of my heart and soul. But it's got different forms. We've got short form improv, which are generally 3 to 5 minute scenes. Then we've got long form improv, where we make stuff up over a period of time. The longest long form improv I ever did was a 13-hour improvised soap opera where we were raising funds for people that were trying to escape domestic abuse. And as you can imagine, that was long. And so what we had to do, and this is the 4th tenet, is we had to learn to be patient and not hunt the laugh. Long form improv is about storytelling and not about chasing a laugh. When we are on stage, we let the big things have their time. We let the big things sit. I know I'm guilty of the next statement, so I'm not preaching. I'm being honest here. How many of us have ever hunted the laugh or not exercised patience in a situation and just tried to get the end to it and just bashed it aside and thought it was resolved, and yet it started to grow because we hadn't actually dealt with it, and it started to loom, and it became this big thing that it didn't need to, and it just overwhelmed us. When we give the big stuff space and we honor the big stuff, we can resolve it so much easier and so much more positively so often. And one of the ways we do that is my 5th point. We learn in an improv sense and in a performing sense to take a beat. In a busy, wild, crazy, amplified, noisy world, what if you're the person in the conversation that brings it down? What if you're the person who's so comfortable dancing in the silence or embracing the silence that you are the de-escalator? We've all been in those situations where fire meets fire meets fire meets, okay, it's go time, fire, fire, fire. That goes really well, said no one ever. But when fire suddenly meets a beat, fire sometimes tries to throw more fire to bring you up to fire, but when you stay here, they come here. And all of a sudden, we can resolve things in a much more positive way. In the next week, I guarantee you there will be a situation where your choices are fire or beat. Please take a beat. I guarantee you you'll have a different outcome, and I would wager that it's probably a more positive one. The final thing that I would like to share with you that this magical art has taught me is probably the most important. Because you see, when I'm on stage with you, it's my job to make you look good. And by extension, it's your job to make me look good. And suddenly, there's this magical transition from me to we, from I to us. Imagine a world where all of us adopted a stance which went from me or I to we or us. That's a world that I want to live in. That's a world that I believe has so much potential for so much good. That's a world where communities thrive and take care of each other. As we are thinking about today, my true hope is that there have been a few sparks, a few little sparks that have landed and created some fires within. I worked with somebody once, and her entire philosophy with creating momentum was start small fires, they will join up, and you'll get the momentum that you want. And so my hope, as I said, is that today somewhere deep inside, some sparks have landed, some little fires have started, where you start to think about conversations where you can collaborate and say yes and to things, where you can embrace mistakes as gifts and you can take learnings away and change your outcomes in those conversations. A world where you banana. You feel that fear and you do it anyway. Where you give the big things space so you can resolve them in a beautiful, kind, caring, and compassionate way. Where you learn to take a beat because there's magic in those beats. But most importantly, if nothing else, where we all walk around in our conversations, in our relationships, in our workplaces, in our communities, thinking, me or I, we or us. This magical form that I have loved performing for over 20 years gives us 6 simple tenets, 6 simple ideas that might, just might, with some fires spreading out from this event, change our world. Thank you.